through the interface of the computer. And I was like, man, this is what future movies are going to be now. And I've seen a few movies since then that have done similar things.
I like Platform. If you guys haven't seen Platform, 1 and 2 is out on Netflix. Those movies are pretty interesting.
Oh man, Platform is
What's that about?
wild.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I like it because it doesn't explain anything either. It's just like you're in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay, so
you're just.
it's one that you just have to go in blind, pretty much. It's better that way.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah,
I feel like that's how it is with Barbarian. If you haven't seen that one, you have to go in blind on that one
seriously, because you have no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah,
like you have an idea of like where it could possibly go, and then it takes it even further than that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that kind of movie.
And I feel like Justin Long, he's in it.
Justin Long, what is he from?
He was from Dodgeball. He was in Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, I love this guy. Oh my god, I love him so much, dude.
Yeah.
In Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Granny Pennies.
Oh yeah.
Granny Pennies. That's like one of the best characters ever. Just oh man, I love that guy. I loved him in Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, like when I saw him in Jeepers Creepers, and then I saw him in that movie years later, I was like, oh, I know this guy. Oh yeah, I like this guy. And then it's just like, just that whole scene is so fun. Abby thought it was pretty funny too. Yeah, and I'm happy that she thought it was funny because sometimes
Zack and Miri, that's an underrated comedy. Brenda and I would watch that shit like every couple months.
I know. I used to watch it all the time too. It was one of my favorites for a while. Like you could ask me what my favorite movie was. I think back then I would have been like Beauty and the Beast, Pan's Labyrinth, and Zack and Miri.
Damn, son. That's a weird combination.
I know.
Alrighty, want to get started?
Sure.
Sick, dude. Yeah, I've got the notes pulled up here on the side of you guys, just to keep up if you've got it.
Same.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Aflixionados podcast, episode 47. We're available wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you enjoy our content, please consider giving us a like. Our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Letterboxd, merch store, all conveniently bundled together for you in our link tree. My name is Eric, and the other voices occupying your head this time are a devoted mother of three, lab geek, comic nerd, retired emo, HBIC, my sister and co-host, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Do you say that every episode with her? That's wild.
I change it up sometimes. I add some things.
Oh, shit. I wonder what mine is.
Also joining us, making his record-breaking third guest appearance on Aflixionados podcast. Please join us in welcoming back the energetic, the charismatic, the founder of Toby Tech Solutions, Skibbity Ryan.
Stop! Not Skibbity Ryan. God dang. I lost some aura points with that one.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I still don't get what the hell that means.
It doesn't mean anything. It means something,
So
but
just
it means
imagine
nothing.
his head coming out of a toilet. Any like Gen Z people listening right now are gonna be like, oh god.
Yeah, absolute cringe. Oh,
Cringe.
Man, I'm sorry, little listener.
Kira, what's Skibbity?
What's Skibbity?
I don't know.
Okay, so good. The rot has not hit her brain.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Here on Aflixionados podcast, we mainly talk about films that range from mind-numbing to mind-blowing. We also cover TV shows and other forms of media. As always, we will be getting into spoilers here, and there will be only the healthiest amount of expletives tossed in. You have been warned. If you ain't ready, then get ready, because in this episode, we will be discussing the American animated sci-fi comedy Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, released in 2009, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller.
That's hilarious that it's considered an American cartoon sci-fi comedy and it came out of a children's book.
Right.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I just watched the movie, just like enjoyed it for what it was.
The basic concept is the same. There's food weather, but that's pretty much where the similarities end.
Yeah, loosely based on the 1978 children's book of the same name by Judy and Ron Barrett.
Yeah, I remember reading that book as a kid.
Mommy, I
But-
see
I've
meal.
only ever read Holes.
Holes. Me, it was that Caterpillar book.
Oh, the caterpillar.
This was between Holes and the Very Hungry Caterpillar, because it had more words, but it was still like a bunch of pictures. So I would say maybe like first, second grade level.
Mm.
Oh, awesome. What did you think of the concept? I mean, it's food coming from the sky, but like, who's cleaning all that shit?
No one.
They have that machine.
Yeah, but like as it's falling onto everything, unless everything was just solid, it's like the mustard that was falling on kids. That was funny. That was really funny. And they're just
Oh
like,
man.
oh, it was good. It's kind of a wild story to just build this device, catapult it into the air, and then create all this food.
You know when they're doing like the snowball fight with the ice cream, and he's just like, "Wait, but how intense do I need to go?" And it's like, "Just go ham." And so he's like, "Okay," and just like, bam, like full power, like just blasting kids with
That was
ice cream.
great.
It actually reminded me of this video game I was playing recently. So I started playing The Last of Us Part 2, and there's this part at the towards the beginning, like maybe about like 10 minutes in. I think you're getting ready to head out on like a patrol, but these kids are like fucking with you, and like you get hit in the face with the snowball. And so she's like, "Hey, you want to fuck these kids up?" And you're like, "Hell yeah." And so you have to basically do like this snowball fight with them, and that's what it kind of reminded me of. Just not as intense.
That's fun.
So this movie is the featured directorial debuts of Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, and some of the other movies that they've covered, we have also covered, such as 21 Jump Street.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know I remember these names, but I had to look it up just to like really jog my memory, and I was like, oh,
I
that's
think-
right, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, we talked about this when we did 21 Jump Street.
Yep.
But I forgot until right now. I knew those names sounded familiar though. I was like, this sounds familiar.
And what's cool about this one though, because I know we were talking about disaster flicks earlier,
The
but
star-studded cast.
that too, which we'll definitely get into. But Miller and Lord have gone on to say that this film, they wanted it to be both an homage and parody of disaster flicks like Twister, Armageddon, and The Day After Tomorrow. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was a direct sequel and TV spinoff of this movie.
What?
I didn't. I know there's a Cloudy too, but I don't think I've actually seen it.
You weren't missing much. It's kind of just more of the same.
My husband says yes, I have.
There's a show because when I was looking it up, I couldn't find it on Netflix, and I kept on changing countries in my VPN to try and get it on Netflix. It wouldn't show, so I was like, I'm gonna have to go digging. So I went on some random website, found it, and yeah, there was 3 options, 1, 2, and then these episodes, and it looked like a cartoon, like hand drawn. So I was like, oh,
Yeah. I guess it's officially called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the series. And yeah, it's an animated television series, and it was on Cartoon Network.
did you see it?
I've never seen it. I only knew about that doing research for this movie.
Apparently I have seen Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs too.
I mean, you
My husband
had
reminded
to
me.
have. Yeah, you absolutely had to have. Like, you probably just threw it on and was like cooking dinner.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Was missing about it? It didn't have like the same heart or the charm that the first movie did. I think it just kind of like took all the same shit and was trying to reissue it to us as like something new. It's like, this is all just stuff we've seen before.
Watching it again, because I haven't seen it in a while. Yeah, watching it again, I did get a few laughs, like
Oh, more laughs than last time. Okay.
or just a couple of the nose ones, where you're like, that got me. Just a nice little nose blow. Like, for instance, when he sprayed that stuff on his feet, I never really paid attention, and so I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, whatever. But like, he still had them on through adulthood. Like,
The entire
they
movie,
never
yep.
came off, and so I'm just like concerned. How did he never get whatever poisoning in that shit? Like, if he couldn't take it off, then it's adhered to the skin on a just molecular level. So it's like,
I was kind of thinking about like, so it's like stretchy apparently because it
Yeah,
grows
I was
with
gonna
its
say I'm impressed that they grew too, but I like that it was black and sparkly. Like I would have
sparkles
been
were
all
cool.
over it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's sparkly or whatever, and it's like that's kind of cool. But does that really go with every outfit?
It did
Yeah.
in the 2000s, which is when it came out. So it's like, yeah, dude, the 2000s. Oh, I loved the translucent glitter. I don't know why. Without
Yeah.
glitter, it just depended on what it was.
So back to the movie. Aspiring inventor Flint Lockwood, played by Bill Hader, lives with his widowed father Tim, played by James Caan, and his pet monkey Steve, played by Neil Patrick Harris.
That's
Of
crazy.
course.
When I was reading that, I was like, what the
Who
fuck?
the hell's gonna? Yeah, it's like that's definitely Neil Patrick Harris right there.
Right.
Dude, he gets royalties now for all
Steve.
this. Steve.
I know, right? And so the family lives in a little town, I guess island too, called Swallow Falls. It's out in the middle of the Atlantic, specifically under the A in Atlantic.
I thought that was so funny. I don't know why I thought that was so
I know
funny.
he's like zooms in, it's all tiny.
Yeah, it's just the little teeny tiny random details in this movie that started getting me. That's one of them. I never saw that.
I felt like a lot of the randomness and like unexpected intensity on certain things, just like attention to details, it kind of is similar to SpongeBob in some ways. And I thought like that would have drawn you in.
I could see that. I think I was also too young when I saw it. I think I was in a different mind frame. What was I, 16? Jesus. Yeah, I was like 16, I think, 15 or 16. And
Showing your age, old man.
I know, dude. Oh, my back feels it. Maybe I was 17.
Wait until you hear how old I was when I saw it.
And I just think that, yeah, I didn't really give it what it deserved. I think this time around, knowing who is in it, reading the notes and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, like I guess I can appreciate it a little better, a little more. It did make me laugh, and I did write down a couple things that made me laugh.
That's good. Yeah, make sure you stop us and let us know when we get to those parts, because those scenes I'm definitely interested in. So the Swallow Falls economy basically around what was it? The
Sardines.
The
sardines. That's what it was. Yeah.
Sardines. Nasty fish.
And the thing is, like, why the hell of all things sardines? They didn't figure that shit out until later, because they're just like the world finally realized that sardines are fucking gross.
Sardines are super gross, dude. Oh man, that made me laugh because I was sitting there like, I was like, ugh, sardines. And I know that Michael likes sardines. Ugh, I freaking hate sardines. That fool's
still
always
eats
trying
them.
to it's so nasty.
I know people put them on pizza and stuff like that. Like that's actually a thing. Like why?
So the Swallow Falls, when they were banking on the sardines, they actually had a successful mascot for a while named Baby Brent, and he was a baby once, and he was a cute baby.
He was a
Apparently,
baby when he was a baby. When he was Baby Brent, he was a cute baby.
Yeah.
Baby Brent.
Only problem is he still tried to be the mascot much later in life.
Ugh, dude.
Now that he's a grown ass man, he still wears a diaper and does the whole Baby Brent thing. Knocks over.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Dude, the fact that it's Andy Samberg is crazy. That's so freaking wild, dude.
I
Like,
know.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
It slightly surprises me because I'm totally thinking, like, when you think of a voice actor, half the time, like, if you don't know them obviously from their roles in person, you kind of have this vision of the person behind, and it's like the character they're talking through. Sometimes if it's very very good, you can't see Andy. He spoke so well. Bill, amazing. Like, I didn't realize Bill was Flint. It's like, oh fuck, it's right. Like, it does
I
sound
didn't
like him
either.
in some
Yeah,
of his nuances.
that's true.
But then what's her name? Sam
Sparks.
I don't know her, like, the
Anna
actress's
Faris?
name. Oh, it's Anna Faris. Ah, that's the freaking name. I do know that name. I'm so retarded. Dude, yes. Dude, Anna Faris. I was just getting heavy House Bunny vibes the whole time I was hearing her. House Bunny.
Okay. So you were picturing her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, her or Jennifer Tilly, she's not hard to, like, picture being one of the characters, right? Like she's Joe's wife in Family Guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly. And then obviously
Gotcha.
she's Chucky's love interest. So it's like,
Right.
yeah.
What'd you think of the ways that they were trying to get through their giant stash of sardines? They're like trying to like create different ways of
I
eating
know,
it.
like boil them, bake them, candy them, juice them.
Juice 'em was
Ugh.
nasty. Juice 'em
I
was
know.
fucking disgusting. I almost gagged on that part. It almost got me, and I almost rewound it.
He
Just to watch
gagged
it.
on
Yeah,
that part.
I know. He was all like,
Ugh. That was nasty. That was nasty. But you know what? They still kind of make it look good. I don't know.
no way.
In some of those frames, it did remind me of SpongeBob, where it's like super detailed, right? Like you got
Yeah.
this like fish that's like ultra detailed, which it has like no reason to be.
Yeah.
No reason, yeah. And then when it zooms out, it's like all the detail goes away. It's just kind of a gray, and you're like,
Yeah.
wasn't that earlier?
All right, so Flint, he kind of had the support of his mom growing up. He wanted to be an inventor. He always liked making things, right? But the dad never quite understood him, and at some point, his mom passed away, so it was just he and his pops. And Flint was still, adamant about inventing stuff, but the dad, he was just kind of like, I'll let you do your thing, but I don't really get what you're trying to do.
The problem is Flint speaks, science or whatever, inventor, and Flint's dad speaks fisherman and only fisherman.
Only fisherman.
Literally different languages.
Yeah, he's like definitely a language barrier there, but so Flint just never understands his fishing metaphors.
But Flint has some cool ideas. Like obviously, like the shoes. A lot of people consider that a fail, but I mean that's actually kind of dope when you think about it. It's just it'd be nice to be able to take them off from
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
to
he just
time.
had to figure that. Maybe he had to spray his feet with Pam first, and then spray the shoes on.
Baby powder.
There it is.
I see where you're going with that.
Baby
But
oil.
it's funny
No Diddy.
when he sprays it though, like it perfectly turns into like the shape of shoes.
A
Like how
shoe
does it
shape.
know?
Right.
And
That's
not just like
impressive.
around his like toes and only the toes. It like goes all the way around like that.
And it's flat on the bottom and everything.
Now, he didn't always have cool inventions. Like, I don't know what the fuck the purpose of like the rat birds were. Like,
That
they
I
didn't serve
didn't
any
I know.
purpose.
Well,
Had
maybe
no
their
idea.
purpose was to save his life at the end. Maybe they didn't know why, but they had to do it. They knew they had to do it.
But his latest invention is pretty cool. The Flint Lockwood Diatonic Super Mutating Dynamic Food Replicator, or for short,
The
the what?
The
FLDSMDFR.
Oh wow, dude, you got that right on the money. Oh wow.
I think what's funny about the term is that we're gonna say it different every single time, but we
Exactly.
all know exactly what we're fucking talking about.
I think it's because like there's so many letters that don't make any sense on that word. I'm staring at it right now and it's like, how the fuck do you just like
fur.
yeah.
As long as it ends in fur, you're good.
FLDSMDFR.
Starts with foot and ends in defer.
I think that's what it is. FLDSMDFR. FLDSMDFR. It's actually pretty fun.
It like starts off promising and then quickly just escalates into something else.
You know what did kind of hurt my feelings though was their relationship. Seeing his dad struggle to what's
Relate.
it called? Relate, yeah.
Relate to his son.
It does kind of hit me in the feels too because my own dad, like I love him. There's nothing wrong at all whatsoever. The only thing is it's just he's gotten in a way that throughout my whole childhood there was all those promises of let's go fishing, let's go do this, let's go do that, just everything you've seen on all the movies, all the TV shows, all the dad and
Like
son
Catch.
things. Yeah, and it never happened because he was always working. He kept choosing bad decisions and just constantly just worked. And then he'd come home and he'd drink for a while and it would kind of not be good sometimes. And then one bad drunk trip up to Forest Falls, crashed on his motorcycle, almost hit off the cliff, and then he was like,
God.
I'm done drinking. That was such a
Holy
wild experience. I still fucking remember that day.
Not the best place to be drinking and driving.
Dude,
No.
insane. Yeah.
On a
man.
motorcycle.
On a motorcycle.
At
drunk.
night.
At night.
At
Oh,
night. At
Jesus.
night, dude. Apparently he shattered his shoulder when he fell. Bam.
Oh man.
And fucked his shit up.
Yeah.
But I guess it was because his helmet when it hit I guess it like hit his collarbone somehow or something like that. Bam, and it like broke
Ooh.
all that.
Man, I guess it could have been way worse considering.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking
Could have broke
wild.
his head too.
Yeah, and then he just never drank since. That was like
That's good.
30 fucking years ago, almost 20 something.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Even in this movie too, right? It's like they hit a point where, you know, it's life or death because of a decision.
Yeah, that's true. I guess before we get there, like, what is the FLDSMDFR? Like, what does it do? What's the purpose of it?
Takes water and makes it into food.
And it looked like it was gonna work for a second, but I don't know. He plugs it in. He gives it the cool racing stripes and everything, right? He gives it the cool voice, and it almost makes a cheeseburger, but not quite. It basically needs more power from what it looks like. It like flips the breaker and everything.
He then trying to go get more power is wild. It's like, oh shoot, oh my gosh, going to that level.
Tim he probably sees his son like making all these things, and he's just like failure after failure, right? And I don't think he thinks of his son as a failure, but I think he's looking at these inventions and he's just like, man, I don't know if this is really like your calling, you know? Maybe you should just kind of give up inventing for a little bit and just join me at the tackle and bait shop.
I think after he knocks out the power, that he's like, oh, maybe you should try something else. And so he's working at the shop on the day that they're having a grand reopening of the town kind of thing. Well, they're trying to draw people back in by making a sardine theme park.
What'd you guys think of the attractions for this theme park?
Super lame.
Yeah, they were so. Oh god.
You could like can yourself. It looked like.
It's perfect. I
like how they had one sardine in a giant bowl, and
that's the one.
Supposed to jump through a hoop of fire or whatever.
The world's largest sardine.
Hated it. Hated that whole entire idea right there. Just that. But it's perfect because it's like it really did make it so unattractive.
I know.
They did a perfect job at making me be like, I don't want to go there. Who the hell would want to go there? It probably stinks.
This scene had a couple of my like favorite bits. I guess.
Let's hear it.
First of all, I love the part where it shows the mayor played by Bruce Campbell, which is awesome.
Legend,
also.
Yeah, Mayor Shelbourne.
And he's like, one of the things he's like mumbling to himself about like making like revamping the town and making this theme park, and he's like, I want them to see me and say, that's a big mayor. And I'm like,
he has that small man syndrome, right? Like he just wants to be big in some way.
Boy does he. And so this is where we also meet Sam Sparks, who is a weather girl, and she's trying to be a weather girl, and she's just like an intern, and so they have her go report on this it's a he said it was a favor to his cousin, so that's the only reason that it's getting any coverage.
And she was like, cool, I'm down.
Yeah. And so while she's there, what was it, Flint, he lets his dad go to the grand opening. He's like, I'll hold down the fort, I'll keep the shop. But then as soon as his dad leaves, he closes up the shop and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take my fur and go to to get more power. So he's like sneaking through the town, and we meet the security guard, Earl.
Oh yeah, Officer Earl Devereaux.
Yeah, and this is played by Mr. T, which is hilarious. I love the part where he's like, you're a troublemaker. He's like, this this contact represents you, and my eye represents my eye, and I've got my eye on you.
Literally like puts the contact in.
Literally. And that was my favorite part for years. I would just crack up every time I saw it.
Flint Lockwood.
That I did not know that Mr. T played it, and it's funny because it did sound like him. It did sound like him, but I thought it was just one of those knockoffs where it's like, oh, it's just someone that does a good Mr. T.
Someone impersonating, like getting that same energy, that Mr. T energy. Yeah.
Exactly, dude.
I can see that.
Mr. T is one of my favorite characters. Officer Earl, I think he is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Him being a father,
I love my son.
I love my son.
I
Oh,
know,
dude.
Dad. You've only told me like a million times.
Oh, see, but it's so cute. I love that part.
It is cute.
Nah, dude, they got a good
And
relationship.
that definitely plays on, Flint's own kind of dysfunctional relationship with his dad, because, when Earl comes and he's like, I just want to do something for my son, and I just want to show him how much I love him, and this and that, and Flint's like, all right, pull the heartstring, I'll do it for you.
Damn.
Yeah, I could see that. Deep down, he was kind of thinking like, I wish I had a similar relationship with my dad.
Yeah, that's the sweet part. Is just like, damn it. Yeah, because I could jive with that.
Another funny quote from Officer Earl: "My chest hairs are tingling."
And
That
it's all
one
like
was funny.
bubbling under his shirt. So funny.
That's so disturbing.
I know. I like how he deflects him. He's like, look, a jaywalker, and he goes and tackles him.
That part made me laugh. That was a good scene.
Yeah, this was a good spot though. A good scene in the movie where Flint, he's sneaking his device over and he's gonna plug into the local like power station, right?
Yeah.
And he's definitely gonna get his power from there. Officer Earl, his chest hair's tingling because he can sense that something bad's about to happen. So he's like, Flint Lockwood, and he chases after him. You see him all in the background, like getting closer. And as soon as he plugs that bad boy in, that thing just takes off, right? Like a rocket.
Like a rocket.
And rockets explode.
Oh, yes. Rockets explode. The
Wrong
big
movie.
one. Oh, I love that movie.
So after the device takes off, it basically just wreaks havoc all over the theme park because the power station happens to be, within a block of this whack-ass theme park. So it's like bouncing around and it's like basically like taking people out and shit. I don't know. I really liked this destruction scene, like specifically with the giant fishbowl. Well, first off, shout out to the Wilhelm scream. Did you guys catch it when it was like rolling it like over a car and I think someone does that Wilhelm scream?
No,
I didn't catch that.
no, I didn't catch that.
I usually do hear it everywhere, but
I don't know where you guys watched it, but I actually have the movie on Blu-ray, not 4K Blu-ray, but just regular Blu-ray. I forgot how great Blu-ray discs fucking look, man.
Yeah.
They do look significantly better than streaming, but it's just like the convenience of streaming and they don't take as much space, like physical space.
yeah.
For those that don't really have a lot of storage space. But yeah, that thing, like when it shattered, he beats his head against it and it like shatters.
Mhm.
That thing looked fucking amazing. The way that everything just like falls down around him. Yeah, I was just mesmerized with that scene.
Yeah, dude, the destruction's pretty good in that movie. It looked very satisfying. It looked very believable too. It wasn't like half-assed. It didn't just fall off and just like go down a hill and it's like, oh, okay, well that's it. No, it took out a few things and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that town is destroyed. Like, holy.
Took out Sam Sparks too. Like totally knocked her into the camera, and it's all like
Oh,
her face
yeah.
pressed against it.
Oh, 4 Eyes. Oh, what happened to you?
Oh, man.
I like how they like talk shit on her later.
I know, like when she starts reporting on the food weather, and they're like, our humiliated intern is back for more.
Damn. That's kind of how it is, though. I feel like those field reporters are kind of like bottom of the barrel, and like
Right,
the news
yeah.
anchors just like look down on them.
Yeah, I learned about that in Bruce Almighty.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, speaking of Sam Sparks, I love the part when she and Flint meet for the first time at the dock, and then Sam Sparks, she doesn't see him, and so she just kind of like drops her legs, and they both like drop in his eyes, and he's
Yeah.
like,
That shit made me laugh. Oh man.
and you can see like the feet like making indents into his eyeballs.
His eyeballs are just so big that you could kick them with your feet.
Being able to do that in animation is so freaking awesome. It's just you can do anything. You can hurt somebody awful and they're fine.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness they're just cartoons.
I feel like animators in like any trade, I feel like they like being able to do movies like this where you kind of just do really wacky off the wall shit. Like you're not trying to make things realistic. Like you can be more creative, you have more leniency, and you can just like really lean into your imagination, right? And I feel like it's fun to do stuff like this, stuff that's like surreal or just like abstract or just way over the top, far-fetched. You can get a sense of that in the movie where the animators are just like fucking going crazy, right? They're just probably having a blast making this stuff.
Right. It's so, yeah, it's Did we mention that the FLDSMDFR flies off into space, basically like the rocket it's aspiring to be?
Right.
But of course, that comes back.
It's basically stuck, right?
Yeah, it flies off into the sky, but I mean, it stops at some point and starts using the clouds as water, and so all of a sudden they're on the dock and everything, and they're talking, and then like a pickle falls on the ground, and
A
like a
perfectly
piece of
sliced dill pickle.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, wait a second, and then the cloud approaches, and it looks like burgers. I don't know if you caught that. The
Oh, I
clouds in
didn't
like
catch
burger
that.
shapes, like
I
on
What?
the ends.
didn't catch that.
I knew that it was like super colorful looking, and I was
Yeah.
also mesmerized by
I
that.
like the purple.
Yeah, I caught that this time for the first time, and then obviously it starts raining burgers, and everyone's like, and I
Oh
love this part
yeah,
too because
everyone's fucking reaction. That shit was hilarious. They're just
The slow turnaround. Yeah.
and Flint's face just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
The part that got me, because obviously, everyone has, it keeps getting like more and more ridiculous. But there's this one guy in the street where he removes his beard to like look up at the sky.
dude. Yes, that part is so good.
Takes it clean off.
Oh my gosh.
What the fuck?
Why? What was he doing? That's so awesome. It was so random.
I would do the same thing if burgers started falling out the sky.
That part was so funny. Yeah, see, these are the little parts that I didn't appreciate the first one around, that I was finally being like, "Oh, that's funny. No, that's a good one. Oh, I didn't know that joke existed. That's hilarious."
And this was the part where you were saying that like the cheeseburgers looked amazing, right? They just look so delicious in the movie.
Oh yeah, dude. Seeing them eat it for the first time reminds me of Spike off of Land Before Time. It's a very satisfying just eat.
Eating a leaf.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that what
like,
it is?
oh. I don't know why that like first little bit is just like, what food makes that sound? Nothing that I've ever eaten makes that sound.
I've had a similar feeling when I was watching them eat pizza on a Goofy movie, and I was just like, man, that pizza looks so fucking
The
good.
cheese like dripping off and stuff.
Yeah.
Yum.
If this movie actually happened in real life, what would be your food?
Ooh, like what would I order?
Yeah.
Sushi.
Sushi.
Some sushi.
All you can eat. Dropping right on your plate. Oh, that sounds so good.
And then like soy sauce is like coming down. You're like, ah!
Like wasabi. Wasabi in the eye. No.
Just wasabi balls. Ah!
That's not mint chocolate chip.
That's there ain't no chocolate chip in it. That's funny. Yeah, what would yours be, Eric?
That does sound good. Maybe some chicken tendies.
Ooh, chicken tendies.
Can't go wrong with those. Or like chicken cutlets, honestly.
Ooh.
A real thick, extra bacon BLT.
Dang.
Ooh.
I thought you were gonna say burrito for a second.
I mean, Brie was. Hold on, wait, Eric, hold on. You're onto something, mate. Roll that back right. Interesting. You know what? Maybe. What kind of burrito would it be then?
Sushi burrito.
Ah!
Hey, shout out to the California roll though. That's a classic. That's
Absolute
a staple.
classic. I just wanted the crab taste. I like the crab taste. It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the imitation crab, not bad.
Makes me want to ask my mom to make her famous California rolls.
Ooh.
Oh, so good.
Dude, man, I totally wish I had something like this though. This freaking machine to just be able to just like create whatever I want.
I imagine somewhere in the future they might be able to like almost 3D print food like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything I want.
I do like 3D printing organs and stuff nowadays.
That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And apparently that machine was so popular that they renamed the town. So it's no longer
Yeah.
Swallow Falls, but is now, they knocked off the falls and they just put Chew and at the beginning, and now it's Chewandswallow.
That's so funny, dude.
I know, it's so lame.
It's funny because while I was watching the movie, it was like in between doing stuff, and so I think I missed the part when they changed it. So when I came back, just like I answered the door, closed it, sat back down, put the headphone in again, and I think they already passed that part. But I was like, oh, that's funny, Chew and Swallow. Like, What a funny dumb name for a town.
Food is all over the fucking place. It's like, so what do you do with all the leftovers? And it's like, oh, don't worry about that. We have a device for that. And it's just like a giant like dish, and it just launches that shit out of
Catapults
view.
it. Yep, out of sight, out of mind.
It's good.
So I thought also, so a lot of things changed during this time. One of the things being Flint becomes a local celebrity. He's making more inventions. What's your guys' favorite thing that changed, or maybe least favorite? Because for me, I would say that no ceilinged restaurant was like
I was gonna say that the
me.
roofless. Yeah, that thing was
yeah,
sick.
that's a no for me, because I'm just like, open to the air. What if it's really hot and sunny? You know what? No thanks. I'd rather go inside to an air conditioned place.
I thought that was a sick idea.
It is a good idea, but also
Those things are like breaking tables.
Yeah, just breaking everything in its way, like people's glasses, and that's like the glass is now in the meat. Like hell no.
It's concussing people, and they're just like, oh, that was fun.
Well, with what Steph was saying, that shit falling, it's next to the beach, so I wonder if it's like always fine there. It's always like 71 and 70 something, isn't it?
oh, that's true.
And they don't really show you too much around the island though. Like they show you just like a little, I don't know, like I would call it like a baseball, like
Like a bay,
yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
just that, and then they darken everything else when it finally zooms out to show you everything.
Oh, true.
So I'm like, I wonder who else is out there that's like, holy fuck, big ass pizza, pancakes, like, churros, oh shit,
Pork chop sandwiches.
yeah, exactly. Like I want to see what they like they did give us all of the different places, right? Like oh, come on down. See, that was kind of weird and interesting when they were having like the grand opening. Like they were like, worldwide, come on down and try all of our shit. And it's like, damn son, like they like the boats. When I saw the boats, I was like, shit, that's a lot of people. There ain't no way they're all gonna be on the fucking island.
Oh, those are like
Right.
cruise
ships.
ships.
Full-blown freaking cruise ships.
I just kind of assumed that they were the only town on that island, and the rest of it's kind of just unpopulated.
Yeah, uninhabited. Hence why they can just throw the leftovers over the hill and everything will be fine.
Right. Another thing is that Sam starts forecasting, or just I guess just announcing the weather. I don't know if it's really a forecast.
Right.
And then the mayor becomes a real big mayor.
Oh yeah, finally.
That's a big mayor.
That's a really big mayor.
How Ryan was saying, like he's like, oh man, those burgers look so good. He was just like popping them like pills.
The way he ate that fucking hot dog was
Just like deep throat.
borderline. Yeah, that's like borderline sexual. He was just like, I love her. That shit was wild.
Tackle that glizzy.
But him being on that little scooter, it's so funny. Like, how was he turning?
I like how he comes to see Flint, and he's like, "It's me, the mayor."
Yeah, it's me, the mayor. It's just like, wow, you're pretty
you
big.
You look different. That was only a span of what, like a week?
Right.
Jeez.
Oh, there was a scene where Flint, what does he do? He's distracting Sam with something. He turns something on, right? And he's like, watch this.
Oh, that little cat video.
Cat video.
And then he comes back and she's like, wow, I can't believe I've been watching this for 8 hours. Or 4 hours. It was something like that. It's like, oh man, I've been watching this for the last 4 hours. And I'm like, damn, that's a long time you've been watching that.
I know, just one cat video.
Yeah.
He was creating the satellite.
Yeah, she was like, how do you like control it? Like, is there a way that we can like send up orders to it? And he's just like, yeah, actually there is. Oh, by the way, here's this cat video. And it's like the whole time she was distracted, he was just like inventing it.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I do want to ask you guys though, what'd you guys think of that Jello castle? I thought it was fucking sick.
I thought it was dope. It's like an adult jump house.
He kind of Elsa'd that business there.
I hate that it was yellow. That's the only thing.
Oh, that's not
I
your
hated
favorite?
that it was
the
yellow.
Orange?
Was it orange? That shit was yellow to me. It was piss yellow to me. I did not like that.
Oh my god, it does look yellow on the screen. It's funny because like right here it looks orange to me, but then when I point it here, it looks yellow in the screen.
Yellow.
It looks super like golden,
That's
bright.
what it. Yeah.
Bright yellow.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So I don't know. And then there was just there was certain scenes where it showed like the slide, It showed the stairs, and it was yellow. It's golden to me. It's golden yellow.
Oh my gosh, I mean, looking at the pictures, I guess I can see that, but in my mind, it was always just like orange with the lighting or whatever, like orange with bright lighting or orange with, I don't know, it's horrible.
Kind of gross looking.
They should have made it orange.
Or red.
There was even like a fish tank, like a sardine fish tank in that Jello castle for whatever reason.
I saw the people. Oh, it does. It has a stupid fucking anchovy fucking thing in there too.
Oh my god.
Stupid ass sardine shit. It is yellow. This is so yellow.
I like how you can just walk into it from anywhere. Like there's no entrance. You just get sucked into it.
You know what gave me anxiety?
No, thank you.
When she jumped into the pool, when she cannonballed, instant anxiety.
I know, like suffocate.
Now we get to the mayor just kind of like creeping up out of the shadows, and he's just like, we need to do more. We need bigger, better. He's trying to bring like tourism to the island, and so he's like, for the grand opening, we need to do something special. That's when I think he was like, hold on, and he taps the little meter, and it like goes,
yeah.
And so he's like, oh, I think we can do that, and then the monkey taps it, and it goes back.
He's like, that's not bad. The fact that he had that little meter was actually kind of funny. It's like how like what?
He didn't even care. Like he didn't even follow it. So why even have that?
Yeah, I'm like, what's the measurement? What's it measuring?
I know, right? The over mutation, because I guess like the food kept getting a little bit bigger and more intense, right? And he's just like, everything's probably fine.
Things are probably starting to get bad. Things are getting too big, right?
Yeah. Oh, he was noticing it, huh, with the hot dog, because when it landed, he was just like, huh, that's kind of weird. Like these, that's a really big hot dog.
And then him going and scanning it was kind of wild. It's like, where was that thing, right? Like he just made that behind the scenes, and then was like, all right, I'm just gonna scan a normal hot dog and these big ones.
What did he decide for the grand opening of the island to tourism? They want to do spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh yeah, because they wanted that like international type of food. It was like a full Italian meal. Garlic bread, spaghetti, meatballs. Oh, dude, those sound good right now.
Works. Spaghetti is one of those staples in my house where we could probably have that at least once a week forever, and I'd be fine.
Yep, absolutely.
Gotta have the garlic bread too. That just sets it off.
Do you make garlic bread out of anything?
Honestly, I just buy it.
Damn,
I just buy it from the store.
Sometimes if I'm just like spaghetti tonight, I didn't plan to grab bread or anything. I just have bread, and what I'll do is I'll just chuck it in the toaster and put a little butter garlic on there. Make some garlic bread. Pretty good.
You know, I did that with pizza bread. So I had like the makings of a pizza, but I just didn't have like the crust. So I had this long like baguette thing. I just cut that bad boy in half and then sprinkle some of the marinara sauce on, some cheese, right? The mozzarella, some pepperoni.
Dude, I miss that. I miss hearing you do that. I can never get it, dude. It's such a staple thing that only you do, and I've never forgotten it. It's just every time you're explaining something, it's so funny.
Hell yeah. You got to add that intensity to it.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You know me. I totally have to add intensity to everything I say or do. It's wild.
Spaghetti tornado. Let's get it.
Right.
It was kind of cool looking though. I ain't gonna lie. That thing was pretty creative and pretty awesome.
That I think actually happens in the book.
Does it really?
Oh wow.
For me, that was definitely a highlight for sure. That giant tornado.
That's probably, I'll bet you that's where like the whole movie came out of.
That's the concept.
Someone was like, "Oh, it's spaghetti tornado. Let's backfill it."
That's how you have to do it.
Somebody on a swing somewhere?
Oh shit. You can still you can hear that? No, can you really hear that? It's my dryer.
Oh no.
Wait, you said someone was on a swing?
Dude, it sounds
That's
like it. It's like wee. Trust me, I fucking hate it. I'm probably gonna go kill it right now since you can hear it. Absolutely not, dude. It's so bad. I fucking hate it.
Where is it? Where's it located?
Here we go.
It's inside and down the hallway to the right.
Oh man.
And
it's down the hallway and it's making that noise?
Yeah. Yeah, and it even has one of those like accordion things that you can like close. It's like not really like a closet
Yeah.
door.
It doesn't do shit
Yeah.
basically.
I don't want this in the recording.
It was a tomato tornado in the book.
Oh, okay. Tomato soup tornado.
Ugh, that would have been
That would have just
awesome.
looked like blood in the movie.
See, oh, that would have been actually kind of wild. Maybe that's why they changed it.
Plus, I feel like what's cool about the spaghetti tornado is it gives it more texture. We can actually see what's happening. Like you're twirling, spaghetti to pick it up. Like it's just like, and you can see like all the little strands and everything all intertwined. I thought it was kind of cool.
And the meatballs were kind of in there a little bit.
Yeah, those are like little meteors just flying off of that thing. I mean, that's kind of how it is. When you're eating spaghetti, that shit flings, man, and it gets all over the place.
When Flint went inside of it, and that guy's like, "Excuse me,"
He was like taking a bath or something.
And he's like, "Sorry," and he's like, "Don't, like, no worries." Like, what? What are you doing in there? It's like, this is perfect.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I can stop this," and so yeah, he runs at the tornado, gets sucked up into it, and conveniently, it like gently lets him down because he's like climbing a ladder that's like floating in the air, and he's like flapping on his way down. He's like, "Oh, that was it." He's already at his base.
Yeah.
I mean, I even like the entrance to the little laboratory. Like he's like beep 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 boop boop boop, and there's like no door.
Oh, I love that. Did you ever watch? Sorry, did you ever watch Codename Kids Next Door?
No.
They have this big tree house. Yeah, big old tree house that's how they do it. Like they'll just go into like, I don't know, it'll be like a refrigerator. They'll close the door and it'll be like thump, and then they'll go up into the main lab. So I love that. And even Dexter's lab, right? I think even in like the very beginning, what's her face goes on like a rug or something and it goes into a tube. I love that idea, going through tubes.
Emperor's New Groove when they go to the secret
That's what I
lair.
was gonna say.
Yeah. And now the roller coaster.
Yeah, that's true.
So speaking of rugs and tubes, just kidding. Flint decides to turn it off, but the really big mayor was already there, just like ordering an entire Vegas buffet.
Like, did you see the shit he was typing in? He's basically coding whenever he's ordering shit.
And how did he learn how to do it? Because it was always Flint that did it.
That's what I'm saying. That shit pissed me off. I feel like that was definitely like a filler thing just to make it just happen. I don't know. It could have been different in my opinion. Because yeah, how the hell did he know how to hack that? That's stupid. That's dumb. Flint could have at some point in the movie made like a user interface, like, oh, see, I just pushed these buttons instead of having to hack the whole time. Just at some point, since he's building all these things, maybe he gets like a tablet or something, and he's like, oh yeah, see, now it's easy. And then he says that.
You just place your order.
Boop, 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 boop. That would have made more sense. But yeah, him hacking, I was like, how does he fucking know Python?
Right.
So.
I mean, I guess that comes from our background because, we come from like the technical field. So
True.
That's one of the ones where it's like when you watch a hacking scene in a movie and there's like, and they're like typing the whole time, but like they're not doing anything.
Yeah, that does nothing. They're in command prompt just hitting random shit. Let's hope that they click on my email. And it's like 3 or 4 months later and it's like, we're in.
Yeah. Got him, Mr. Robot.
Got him. Hell yeah.
It was just convenient, right?
And then him to just be like, all right, see ya. Oh, I just want to punch him. Punch that fat man.
I think the whole time they just wanted to make you dislike the mayor. And so that was just like another thing to dislike him for. It was like, all right, so one, he's all gluttonous now and he's like trying to order Flint around. And then he's like just taking upon himself to place his orders now. And he keeps pushing the envelope, wanting things bigger and more. And so that I think was what sets it over the edge, right? And so it starts like flipping out. It's over mutating everything. And now it's like threatening the entire globe. And so all these other countries are also going to be affected pretty soon, unless they can stop it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like an epidemic, Eric. It's almost like it foresaw our 2020, but in a different way.
Right.
That's funny.
That was another cool scene was when they had the spaghetti tornado, the roofless hotel. When they drop that layer of spaghetti on everyone, it's just like, bam! I thought that was such a cool effect.
Yeah. Was that when they started throw in all kinds of big food?
I think so. Everything was just huge.
Was there a pancake now?
Yeah. And everyone started freaking out, and they were like looting, right? So they were like looting the little like
That
TV
shit
shop.
was funny.
And then did you see that TV with the legs that looted the shop owner?
The man. That one got me. That's the part I laughed at. I was like, oh shoot, that's funny. I never paid attention to that.
Yeah, he just runs off with them.
It was the looting. It was the very first looting, and him smiling as he's running away with a TV. I'm like, one, that's a really old TV.
Yeah, it's like a tube TV.
And like two, the fact that that robot just shows up like, hey, well, if they're stealing, I'm gonna steal this man.
Never let them know your next move.
Never let them know. Never let them know.
Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. That giant sandwich landing on the Eiffel Tower, that was strangely satisfying too. It was like a BLT, I think, since you were talking about
That
BLTs.
was good. Mm-hmm. It fell in layers.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, satisfying.
The kill code.
Yeah, the kill code. It was cool. It was cool. He put it on the flash drive, and I mean, I'm sitting there, obviously foreshadowing the movie. Like, you can't just have a little item ever. You can never have just a little item. Put that shit on another item, but that's just the IT tech in me, you know.
Having some backups.
And it's like, yeah, when he put together the kill code and he fixes the car, adds wings. That was a funny thing when he was just like, the car 2.0 with wings. It's like, yeah, perfect. You learned from last time.
Yeah.
You know, they're soaring through the air. It's working famously, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm satisfied. This is going well. And just for something, it was just in me that's like, please don't drop it.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't drop it. What does he fucking do?
You know he's going to. He's like holding it up. He's like, oh, I almost dropped that. And like the window opens up, right?
Just, god dang it. And it's like, because I'm not a little kid, am I not sitting there just like, oh no, oh, they lost it, oh. It's like, I'm an adult being like, you fucking idiot. Why the fuck did you do that?
This is all your fault. We're all gonna die.
Yeah. You lost it. You lost. You lose. Yeah. How did you feel about that part?
Yeah, this part was frustrating, and I mean, you know, he's accompanied by like Sam, her cameraman Manny, who's played by Benjamin Bratt. Cool character, by the way. Like, he's just all cool, calm, and collected.
I do like Manny.
Yeah, Manny was cool. That Steve, of course, and baby Brent was there, and I'm like, why the fuck is Brent here? Like, I always felt like, I think that character was just like, he was fun at the beginning, but it's like every time he pops up, I was just like, okay, it's like less and less, and it's like, all right, he's just taking up unnecessary time now.
I agree. I feel like he definitely turned into he never became that like main character to me.
Yeah, he was never charming enough to like win you over by the end of the movie. It was just like, yeah, he's just annoying. That's all he was.
Exactly.
Manny was cool though.
Manny was sick. Manny was. I mean, man, you gotta have a Manny in your life.
Yeah.
Someone that's just a jack of all trades. Oh, you're a pilot too? Like,
he's a doctor and a cameraman and a pilot.
That's straight up. That's absolutely wild.
I like it because this is all just convenient for the plot, but like it just works in this context that he's just like, oh yeah, I studied all these things. I'm good at it.
I mean, the movie is already ridiculous. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not a character be?
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, and then he's the comedian. That's right. Yeah, that part got me. Yeah, the movie was actually a lot funnier than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
This second time around, it was actually a lot better. So I'm glad that like you told me to watch it before this, because yeah, this movie's good actually.
It deserves some redemption.
I guess
put some respect on this movie's name.
I put some respect on it. Fine, I'll give it the respect it thinks it deserves.
So they're trying to reach the core, right? That's where the FLDSMDFR is located. But now it's grown like some sort of protective shell, like a giant meatball barrier, and so they have to break through that in some way.
That made me feel weird. It was very alien-like to me, like Alien versus Predator, like the way that it would like.
Pulsating.
Yeah, weird. It was like an alien egg opening up and then closing on the actual machine.
Kind of had a sphincter, if you think about it.
A little bit, huh? Ugh.
It's like weirdly, like creepily organic.
Right. They eventually infiltrate this little protective meatball barrier, and they discover that there's a bunch of like peanut brittle spikes all over the place, and Sam is allergic to peanuts.
There's all kinds of protective measures that this machine and the sentient protective food that it's created.
Sentient food.
The roasted chickens that were like attacking them.
That was actually kind of creepy.
Super creepy.
Yeah, those are.
And it like swallowed up Brent.
That was a weird scene.
It ate him, and now it's gonna eat me.
Oh my god, dude. Can we do that movie too? Troll 2? Holy
the
shit.
second
I haven't
one.
seen that movie in forever. Yeah. Well, there was never a first one. You know that, right?
Genius. I love that. Just jump right to the second. Make yourself seem extra important.
Yep. That was the thing is he's like, well, if there's a number 2, that means it must have done well.
Not necessarily.
And then like a lot of those scenes were first takes.
Oh,
It's
were
like,
they?
all right, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, that director, he was definitely on one.
Oh my gosh. Have we gotten to the part where he calls his dad?
Does that happen in the plane, or was that inside the meatball already?
It's inside the meatball.
Wasn't it? Oh, he loses the stick in the plane.
And then he calls his dad. And he's like, I need
Yeah.
you to email me this file to my phone. And his dad's like,
And his eyes are all bugged out.
That had to be like my favorite scene. I love how like anytime you see his eyes, he has to raise his eyebrows.
so far. Yeah, and it sucks because being a help desk tech, like helping people with stuff like that sucked. And he goes through it too. He's like telling his dad, drag it across the table. And he's like, I'm dragging it, son. It's not fucking doing it. He's like, you gotta go all the way across the table. And he's like, shit.
That didn't do anything. And he's like, of course it didn't. Ugh.
Good.
It 100% took me back to trying to walk my parents through
Yes.
doing things on the computer back
Oh, yeah.
then. So funny.
Yeah.
Even the little emblems and icons on that computer totally resembled like 2009 MySpace era, gray, off blue, like yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, this is
That's
hitting me in the
hilarious.
feels. Like I love this right now.
It didn't help that he had like 16 monitors, so it's like, which one is he supposed to look at?
Fair.
Basically, Brent, he swallowed up, and they're about to be killed, murdered by these roasted chickens, which can still cluck, by the way, which is kind of weird.
That is odd.
Not as odd as Brent fighting his way out from inside one of the chickens and like taking it over.
Becoming the chicken.
Chicken Brent, which is like, what the fuck?
Pretty much.
It kind of reminds me of Jeepers Creepers 2 when he tears the head off of that kid, puts it on his own body, and then it becomes him.
I was gonna say somebody was super high when they came up with that scene.
Yeah.
My thing too is like, what happened to his legs? The chicken legs are still
Yeah.
there. Yeah, the chicken bones are there.
The chicken digested his legs before he took it over.
That's so nasty. The whole idea, dude. You're right. That's just wild.
That moment for me was kind of jumping the shark. It's been ridiculous this whole time, but now it's just like, that's a little too much.
Sometimes
Yeah.
a character could make or break a movie for me. Like if they're too annoying or they've had too many scenes and I'm like, I don't fucking care about you at all whatsoever.
True, yeah. I would have even been okay with like Manny parking the flying ship somewhere and he's like, oh, by the way, I know kung fu, and like fucking starts whooping ass.
Right?
That
That's
actually
true.
would have been cool too.
So yeah, he's I think Sam is letting Flint down on the rope, which I think was like licorice, wasn't it?
It is
I wanna say.
licorice. It is licorice.
Was it? I did not even notice that. In my brain, it's just a regular rope.
I mean, when he bites it.
Yeah, I hope it was licorice because that would have been cool, and just to keep with the food theme.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, he's being let down because, they want to try to avoid the contact with the peanuts, but Sam still brushes up against one and starts getting an allergic reaction. So Oh, and she's also about to be, I guess, jumped by those roasted chickens, right? Brent is kind of
Mhm.
getting his ass kicked. Flint is just like, you know what? I gotta make sure that you get saved, so you don't have to stay here to hold my ass. I'll just bite the rope, and then you can go back to the ship plane car.
Her swelling was funny because of just how fast it happened,
Yeah.
and then immediately, which I love when voice actors do get into like the visual character, and like you can hear that she's intentionally being like, even her nose too, like
Yeah.
I noticed it immediately. Like she starts talking and it sounds like her tongue and mouth are swollen, but
Mhm.
at the end of her sentence she goes it's a very quick little something, and then she doesn't do it anymore, but like that part was so funny to me.
He cuts the rope, finds his way down to the core, and so yeah, he's trying to basically like sneak his way closer to it. This part was kind of creepy because the eye was like a little spotlight and everything. Have you guys played Portal?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Reminded me of
Yeah.
GLaDOS.
GLaDOS, which has a lot of controversy that it's an upside down like woman's body. It looks like there's like a woman's
Robot the machine.
There's some controversy about GLaDOS, and that's actually really interesting. So I would
I
encourage
mean,
you to,
is that controversial though? I feel like that's just kind of intriguing.
because it's not confirmed.
Oh, okay. Back in Chewandswallow, you know all that leftover food? Well, it was being held up by a tiny ass dam, and that thing is about to collapse. So everyone's building these rafts made out of sandwiches, and Officer Devereaux, he's kind of the one that's leading the charge, right? And he's helping everyone flee the island. And then there's like a food avalanche that's chasing them.
Dude, the way he threw his son and wife on the boat up, I was actually pretty impressed. Like that
Yeah,
that,
that's
that whole
true.
scene was impressive. But the scene that grossed me out was after Danny gets called to be a doctor for a moment. He's like, I'm afraid he's in a food coma. I laughed. And everyone gasped, and then he goes, "Give me a piece of celery." Snap. And it's like, oh, woke his ass up. But what grossed me out was the kid throws up, and immediately Mr. T or the officer kisses his son on the lips,
Uh,
and you can see that there's remnants of vomit, and I'm like, even as a parent, I ain't gonna kiss my kid
no,
after they threw up. Hell no.
no, thank you. Especially
No,
because
thank
there's
you.
that vomit scent, that like rancid smell that is just so recognizable.
Blech. Kill me now.
And meanwhile, while all that's going down, Tim, he stays behind because he's trying to upload that damn file. And yeah, that's where he was struggling with like the what are the instructions and all that shit. Apparently, he eventually sends the file up to his phone because now Flint is, he's like right on the device's ass, and he gets close enough to it where he can like strap it down, and he plugs in his phone and everything to upload the kill code, and it's the damn cat video.
That fucking cat video that Sam was watching for hours.
After all that shit, even after that heroic moment where like the base gets knocked over by the food avalanche, and he just like pops on, he's like no, and he hits that send button.
I actually did get sad in that part. I did get sad because I didn't remember that it's the wrong file, and so when I saw that, I was like, oh, it was so close,
No,
dude.
Dad, no.
Just like a boomer. No.
Did you think he was fucked? You're like, there's no way to stop this thing. I totally forgot about that shoe spray until he busted out. Like, he looks at his feet, and I was just like, no fucking way.
Out of nowhere. Like, where was he keeping it?
Yeah, this whole time. He had no pockets, but he had that on him somewhere, his utility belt.
Him destroying the machine with the shoe spray was absolutely genius. Absolutely genius.
Because you knew nothing was going to be able to break that thing. Like, once
No.
that was on, that was it.
I didn't even have for like a single second of a clue. Was I like, oh, he's gonna dish out his shoe stuff? Nope. I was like, how the fuck's he gonna get out of this?
And once he seals it, that thing just implodes, and he gets knocked basically like out of the sky, and you don't really know what happens to him because it cuts over to the rest of the crew safely landing back on ground, and see the explosion right in the sky, and they're like, "No, Flint, he died."
Yeah.
But yet, those little rat bird bastards, they came in handy. They saved Flint.
Yeah.
They floated his ass down.
That's such a weird just cop out at the very end of the movie. Just like, when we threw these rat birds in here, like, how are we gonna make them actually useful? Well,
Right.
they save Flint. How the fuck are they doing that? It has to be in there because it just full encompasses the whole entire just ridiculousness of it. But at the same
True.
time, I think
Yeah.
it's such a weird, dumb thing. What I did find funny though, he gets back, right, and they kiss. Finally, they gave it to us after not giving it to us the whole fucking movie. It's like this back and forth, and it was really funny to see some of the parts where he was taking the hint at the wrong time, and I've experienced that. I'm like, oh wait, kiss now? No,
Yes, no, or no, yes.
now here. But it's funny because how they kiss because of his big ass nose. Like,
Oh
that
yeah.
shit was really funny, dude. No fucking shit.
Blow up their mouths.
It was cute. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely teared up when his dad was saying his final little
Oh, I know.
spiel. Like, I definitely teared up. I was like, I wish my dad would say that.
He needs that translator.
Just kidding. Nah. He said it before. It's just like to see his dad, struggle most of the movie to say anything at all, and then for it to just come out perfectly. I was like, oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. He's never been the best communicator, right? But I mean, it's kind of like Up, where it like just
True.
perfectly translates to what you're thinking at that moment. And yeah, so that was really what he was thinking. He just
Yeah.
didn't know how to get it out. It was kind of cool. I like that touch too, where he was able to say the last piece in his words, the part where he says, "I love you" to a son.
That part got me. I think I watched that 3 times.
Cried like a baby every
A
time.
little bit. I did the huff and puff. It was just the one. Yeah. It was just the one. As soon as he said it, and I was like, that's really sweet, dude.
That's like so sweet.
That's so sweet, man. Oh, come on, man. Dude, what a good movie. What a great movie.
End of scene. Yeah, I'm a chicken. So stupid.
Yeah, that shit was dumb. But that one made me laugh. I'm a chicken. Hate that guy. I hate him so much. I don't know why. I don't know why. He's
Fuck you, Brent.
Yeah, fuck you, Brent. God damn you. Oh my gosh.
And that is a wrap on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we have a good reward or a bad reward for the audience?
Oh man. Should you get to take home your own rat bird?
Rat bird? How about this? If you made it to the end of our podcast, then you were able to successfully remove your shoes, your spray-on shoes.
There you go. Because you sprayed your feet with Pam before you sprayed on the shoes.
Or baby powder.
Any final thoughts or closing comments?
Watch this movie more. It's funny.
It holds up all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of bits where I was like, oh yeah, it's a little cheesy now.
Didn't hit the same.
For something from 2009, I don't know. Like, some movies were kind of hit or miss around that era, and this one, it's a hit.
Very nice. Compared to the first time you saw it, would you say that it bumped up a couple notches, or is it about the same?
I'd say about the same.
I'd say about the same. Like, it's a cool movie. It's not my favorite. I have favorites that hooked me. This one, it hooked me. It's just, it did have a little more ridiculous stuff that in my adult brain, my big dummy caveman smooth brain at the moment, I just feel like it wasn't hitting everything that I guess I looked for in a movie. But I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, your tastes change over
Yeah,
time. I get
think
that.
so.
What I really appreciate about the movie is that it doesn't overstay its welcome. So it's really only an hour and a half long, not very long. It has a very quick pace. Some people might think that works against it. Maybe they might think that they fly through the scenes too quickly. I felt like it had a really good pacing all the way through for the most part. I can't really think off the top of my head if there were like any scenes where I'm like, I really wish they would have stayed on this a little longer to kind of like flesh it out or anything like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the charm, and maybe that was the approach that they were going for with this movie, was that we're just gonna hit them with a bunch of ridiculous shit and just keep going on to the next one, slap them over the face with something crazy, boom, on to the next one.
To facts. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it felt like. I think it did a really good job at pace. It did keep me interested for the most part. It did have some pretty good jokes in there. I agree with Steph. There was some stuff I could have left, right, and been like, man, that was a flop. But at the same time, there was more funnier parts that I remember than I remember.
That's good. Yeah, it seemed like you enjoyed it a little bit more this time around than your first time.
Yeah, not a bad time.
Another interesting detail that I thought was kind of just a nice touch was that when they destroyed the machine and the storms were kind of dissipating all around the world, England was actually colorful, and then when it went back to normal, it just turned into black and gray, and I thought that was funny. It just turns into a depressing scene again.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I'll go back and I'll rewatch that part because yeah, no, I did not see that. But that's a funny little detail.
Yeah.
I think one of the other funny ones, or the other funny moments that I forgot to mention, was when the mayor does come out of the shadows, and he's like, "Oh, hey, it's me, the mayor." First off, that's funny. The fact that he just like introduced himself again, we all know, it's just that's funny. But then he goes, "Oh no! I'm sorry. The scene where he's doing the ordering, and he goes away, and he goes, okay, bye." And then like literally says out loud, "Okay, I'm back." And then proceeds to break his the satellite dish. That part pissed me off so much.
Oh, because he was like throwing that radish and he has to juke it or whatever.
But it's funny because he made a beat joke, and as Flint's jumping over it, he's like, "That's a radish."
I didn't even catch that.
yeah, he says it while he's in the air. He's like, "Ah, it's a radish." Part of that scene where he's talking to Flint, trying to convince him, and it zooms into Flint's face, and then it zooms out, and the mayor is still saying, "Choices, choices."
Oh
choices,"
yeah,
like in his ear.
Yeah, I do
Instead
remember
of it
that
being like
in his head.
his yeah.
Well, are you guys watching anything lately? Film or TV?
No, dude. I've just been playing that Elden Ring, getting
That
lost.
Elden Ring.
Oh, Agatha all along.
Ooh, yeah, I actually heard my coworker talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting actually. I was pleasantly surprised.
Because that's a spinoff of the WandaVision show, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Or I don't know if it's like a spinoff or like a sequel or whatever. I ended up seeing Joker 2 or Joker Folie à Deux in theaters.
I've heard not good things.
Yeah, I think everyone was just shitting all over that movie. So I think if you go in with a certain expectation or like mindset, that is what's throwing a lot of people off, because I think a lot of people were thinking like another full-fledged DC movie, you know. I want bigger, I want like more extravagant. What Joker Folie à Deux is basically being is kind of like glorified epilogue to the original Joker movie. I don't think it does anything bigger or better or anything like that. What it does is it just wraps the story up. It was fine. I didn't mind the singing or anything like that. I understood that it's like in his head, you know, he's crazy, and so he's having these like singing conversations with people around him. So I could see that happening. It's like a fantasy in his mind.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, because I went off of a couple opinions where they were like talking about like whether or not it like needed singing or as much, but at the same time, I watched and loved Les Mis, and it's like I understand that you can have singing and minimal dialogue,
Yep.
and still be successful and work.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I saw recently was The Ring. I think I was mentioning that before we started recording. The Ring, fucking dope. I've always loved this movie. I always thought it was like creepy as shit. It still holds up. And I was saying that I felt like it just dropped around the perfect time when people were just starting to upgrade from a VCR to a DVD player, and so they didn't wait too long to play on just like the creepiness that could be on those VHS tapes. Because I just think that's kind of a cool concept, a blank VHS tape that you don't know what the hell's on there, and it's just a bunch of like weird images spliced together. Yeah, I mean, I liked it way better than The Grudge. I thought Grudge was kind of weak
Oh,
compared
for
to this.
real? You know what's funny? I feel like they go hand in hand. Grudge is definitely scarier in like a psychological way, but The Ring, it's got like the good quality jump scares for me.
When they show the awful face.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. And then they get all close and personal, and you're like, oh shit.
No, thank you. As always, man, it's a blast having you on the show, and I'm glad that you're able to join us again for the third time.
Well, dude, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed the time with you guys. You guys are fun to hang out with, so it's cool.
Yeah, we just get rolling.
I really appreciate your notes too, Eric. Like it really helped keep me on track and keep me like, okay, where are we?
Yeah, it's been way too long. We're gonna have to have you on again.
Cool, man.
And it's not another 2 years.
And not take 2 years.
Yeah, for fucking real. I think you and me have only seen each other like twice in between that time then.
Yeah, because you didn't get to come with us to Carolyn's, huh?
Mm-mm.
Last time we met up.
No.
We gotta set something else up.
Yeah, dude, that'll be fun.
All right. Well, was there anything you wanted to plug for yourself before we close out?
Not this time around, no.
All right. Well, as always, you can find us wherever you normally get your podcasts. New episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you like what you heard, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. Thank you for listening and joining Ryan, Stephanie, and I. This has been Aflixionados Podcast, episode 47, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And we will see you all next time.
Blur.
Steve.
Steve.